Alrighty, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and this is going to be kind of like a part 2, but not really. You don't really have to consider a part 2. It's pretty much more information to do with pretty much the this thread right here, which is the information about developments at Snowballing problem. This is what it looks like. We went over it, obviously whenever it came out on November 13th, which is like 3 weeks now. But we have had like a lot more dev replies in these pages. Whenever they do come out, I do decide to cover them. You guys do enjoy it. And we recently covered, I think it was like 2 big posts that he made on this thread. And now we have a couple more. So we're going to go over them. We're going to see what he has to say, what information we can get from it. And then we're going to go from there. And I'm going to link this down below if you want to go check it out for yourself, like always. But let's get right to it. So a player asks, sounds like the best fix to this would be some sort of soft cap for clans in a kingdom based on amount of fiefs, after which the AI would start considering expelling landless clans. After that, you would make those clans into mercenary clans and remove them from the game if they keep failing themselves afloat as mercenaries have other kingdoms to take them if they need more clans. Alright, so this is a response to this. I just want to give you guys a response to just guys to let you know if you didn't see the previous part. So this is going to be the, after rebellions are added, as you can see by this graph, over time the amount of parties will go up because every time a rebellion happens, a new party is created. And that party is the one who is doing the rebellion, right? And as you can see, there's more clans over time and there's more parties over time. But this gives you issues like income, how much settlements each clan is going to have, because there's obviously more clans, right? Now, this person suggested that they should obviously do a little soft cap, and here's my argument to that. And this is the argument I made in my previous video. That is, no, I don't think this is the right way to go. I don't think capping stuff off and making a negative experience for the players is ever the solution. I think it is time, since this is going up, and since each settlement, since each clan usually will only have one settlement, if that, right? If pretty much in the late game, by this calculation, we need to make the settlements worth just make each settlement worth something. Like I stated, workshop upgrades, caravan upgrades, and stuff to just make each, give you different faucets of making income where you don't need to own a fifth of the map to really make some good money. You don't need to own 10 fiefs to make some good money. If you make good decisions with the fiefs that you do have, you can do very good as well. I thought about like an investment system. Like let's say if your town is right next to the water, you should be able to invest in more ships, and the more ships you invest in, the more your prosperity will rise, the more your income will rise, because you'll have more fishing ships, you'll have more ships to do trade and just stuff like that. We have to delve into that system, especially now, because like stated here, as the clans rise, as the parties rise, there's a lot of them that are going to be very, very poor because they're going to have less settlements each. Most of them are not going to have any at all. Therefore, make the settlements, make the caravans worth it, make the workshops worth it, give them the upgradable status that's going to carry them into the late game. So I don't think there should be a soft cap. I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, if you're looking at it in longevity and just overall that, we need to see more late game things, upgrades, stuff like that. And also, to make sure that is balanced, we need a system where these upgrades can be downgraded as well. We need if you really want to have this long game, you need to have its up points and its down points, and it needs to just flow, kind of like a wave. There should be up points, down points, up points, down points, and it should continue going that way, and it should be like that little squiggly line throughout the whole thing, and I feel like if we could get to that point, it's going to take a very long time, but if we can get there, I feel like that is bliss. That is what we need very drastically, right? So I don't think we should cap stuff off. I think that there are better ways to do it. The cap would obviously be an easy temporary solution, but I don't think that is it. Alrighty. Dev respond. Problem with this solution is that we'll expel landless clans of weak kingdoms, which will make snowballing worse. True. So pretty much, you know, people with land win, people without land lose. It's kind of how, you know, the ecosystem of the world is going right now, if you really, really think about it, which kind of sucks, you know? If you don't own the big businesses, if you don't own, you know, a lot of land, if you don't have previous wealth, you're screwed. So, yeah, looking at it from a real life standpoint, it ain't that good either. But let's keep reading. Currently, about 30% of clans are landless after 5 to 10 years. Exactly, like, you know, a big part of them are going to be landless. And if we start removing them, this will result in weak factions to lose strength, and this will result in lose more lands, then more clans, a cycle. And see, they're going to lose more land, they're going to lose more strength, they're going to lose more clans, and it's just going to be a cycle. That's pretty much what he's saying. So after losing 2 to 3 fiefs at game's initial years, mostly that kingdom will continue to get weaker and weaker by time. For the health of gameplay, we should create ways. Yes, we should create ways where weakened kingdoms can become stronger. Like I said, it's a squiggly line. You got your ups and you got your downs. It's like a roller coaster. You know, you gotta have that. Now, here is another thing that we should consider. If there's gonna be so many clans on the field and it's just gonna grow, I think we need to open that door back up to giving clans a village. I think we need to open that up. That does not mean destroy the current system. That is not what I mean. I still think that clans can own, you know, clans owning the town or the castle gives them ownership of the village. That's fine. I agree with it. It's cool. You know, it's different, but it's cool. I'm not opposed to it. But I feel like you should be able, the same way, look at it this way. You buy yourself, let's say you're doing pretty good. You buy yourself a 3-bedroom apartment. You use one as your room. You use one as an office, and you use the third one as like a guest room, right? Now, let's put in this. So same thing as your apartment, right? You have a guest room, so you have a spot where someone can come in and kind of own the property with you, right? They'll pay a little bit of a rent or whatever, but they'll pay the property with you. Kind of like a, you know, an Airbnb type of situation, or just like, a roommate, right? So I think there should be a way that if you are the owner of the town, you can pick clans that will look after the village. What do I mean by look after the village? And here it is. Since this can become a thing, I think we need to make sure villages have upgrades too. I know it's going to add a lot of stuff that needs to be done, but I think, listen, the more people that are going to be on the map, the more we need to prioritize what's on the map itself and make it so it's dynamic, it's upgradable, it's downgradable, you know, and stuff of that nature. We have to make it more important. So I think if you own the town or the castle, you can pick specific clans to own the villages, and then since they own the villages, they get a percentage of the income from the villages, and so do you, because you are the main owner, right? Same way as if you own the apartment, you can get somebody in your guest room to kind of stay there and pay a percentage of the rent. Kind of similar concept right there. I think we should think about it. You know, there's a lot of things that you can really think about in this game and change in these variety of ways that, you know, we don't have to give the cap. We don't have to do that. We don't have to kind of like, you know, we just have to make the land worth it, right? And I think we can do that, you know. I did talk about this in my previous video. I'm going to link it down below too. There's a lot more that I talked about in that video. It was like 30 minutes. This one's probably going to be 30 minutes too, but yeah. All right. However, this is still one optional solution, but I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it either. Maybe it can be a final decision because this is offered too. Then things will be worse for snowballing again. Anyways, still can be better than doing nothing about this problem because party/clan inflation will be a really big problem for late game if fixed somehow. That's what I'm saying. It's a problem because right now we're not looking at the solutions. We're just looking at the problem and we're just looking at like easy ways to fix it. It's not going to be easy. The more people and the more stuff that is added to the map, you know, and since they're all going to have a smaller piece now, we need to make those smaller pieces work. You know, we need, like I said, we need to make them work. And there's very simple ways and there's very more in-depth ways, like I've stated. Simple ways: upgradable workshops, upgradable caravans. You know, investments in towns. You know, you can invest more money into, let's say, ships if it's next to water. If it's on land, you can invest more into farming, something like that. Just invest so you can get a return on your investment later on, something of that nature. You know, there's stuff that can definitely be done, and like the village system, you know, there's stuff that definitely can be done here. It can, but it's going to take some time, it's going to take some work, but I think it will be well worth it in the end. All right, player asks, maybe add them to bandit faction, enable killing them without repercussions. I don't think that's it either. No. I think we just stop responding their lords if they lost / cannot keep their initial settlements. During rebellion, they get 1 settlement, and other kingdoms should not recruit them without fief. I offered this solution. I did not see any reason to not apply this. So after the last lord party is captured by enemies, they will be totally eliminated. If they could keep their settlement for a reasonable time, they can be hired by another kingdom with their settlement and continue capturing new settlements. Okay, so that's kind of how I wanted it in the previous video, and I was kind of upset that they were just going to get, if they couldn't hold it, then they couldn't, you know, obviously become a clan. But I do like that. So if they hold it for long enough to just, you know, join another settlement, I think that'd be actually very cool. And I think this will give players a huge incentive that own their own kingdoms, that if they see a rebellion clan on the map, they go over there and they try to get them on their side. I think that'd actually be very, that's actually very cool. Yes, yeah, I agree with this. At first I didn't, because I didn't know the implication of, you know, they can still join another clan. I thought they had to just keep it and kind of grow from it, which would have been almost impossible. But if you give them the option of, you know, being able to get hired by a different kingdom with their settlements, that would be very cool. Yeah, I agree with this. Alright, another player, not sure if addressing 1.5.6, but clan members are still running out of money, which means they can't get troops, and sit with no troops, with can contribute to it. I bet in a lower manner, still contribute to it, just a small thing I noticed. Okay, so what he's talking about right here, this has been addressed in 1.5.6, and this that we talked about over here. There's obviously sharing, there's sharing of money, there's, I don't remember all the stuff that's said here, but the changes to this exact problem that he's talking about are coming in 1.5.6. So Dev responds, the snowballing fixes consist of several developments for financial situation of clans. So yes, it is fixed. See data tails I shared that look at poor clans after development. It was reduced by 5%. However, after rebellion feature in late game, we have tons of poor clans again, because average settlement income per clan decreases by time because of clan inflation. You see, I really hope the devs see that their answer is in their problem. You know, because of average settlement income, we need to make this needs to be improved. Right here, this needs to be improved. That's it. It's right there. That's the answer. There's ways to improve it. You know, there's ways that we've been said, and I'm going to keep saying it just in case the devs are watching or players are watching. Upgradable workshops, upgradable caravans. First 2 things that you can do, I would say, at this moment, and just get it out the way. I think those 2 things people have been looking for a long time, and in late game, it will help the overall economy. It will. So, those 2 things right there. And then even as a side note, village upgrades. You know what I'm saying? We can do that. I think that's possible. All right. So the player asking as a side question: are these new clans basically like player independent clans, not their own faction that we could join? I think a player cannot join them, and they are not a new kingdom. They will join one of the 8 kingdoms, which is an enemy of the rebel clan's enemy, if they can hold summon for a reasonable time against the kingdom they rebelled. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't think they should be their own kingdom either. That makes sense. Oh, what else we got? Another question: what are triggers for an act of rebellion occurs? Okay, he said he'd agreed. Then we got low loyalty is the major reason. I did not implement that feature. They have less information about details. And obviously we are getting changes to loyalty and security as well that are coming with these changes too. So obviously it's going to be a lot easier to get lower loyalty after the upgrade too. So you have to watch out for it. Because you might think to yourself now, oh, well, most places stay at 100. there are changes coming to loyalty and security too. So this is, you know, they're coming at a good time. All right, we got another player. Can lords die in simulated battles in the development branch? This sounds like fun, but important effect on balance. Yeah, they can die. Yeah, but each clan has several heroes ready for spawn in your party. So if a clan is tier 3 and they nearly always have 2 parties on the map. So death of a lord usually does not decrease lord party count unless all 18 plus heroes of the clan is dead. True. So with the recent changes, you know, a clan could be like he said, what is it, tier 3, and they are supposed to have 2 parties. But with those additional 2 parties, they still have like 2 or 3 extra family members just in case those die, right? So they always kind of have that number. And then we have another player. Agree with the solution of defeated rebel lord or the execution with no penalty. I don't agree with it, but let's see what he has to say. It is similar with one of the 2 solutions I offered. It's okay for me. We can stop respawning them or executing them can be without penalty, so NPC lords can execute them when they win a battle against them. I don't think so. I think, you know, in a way, even back then, like I guess it's not honorable to rebel, but at the same time, everybody has close friends, everybody has family, regardless of the times. And I think if you execute him, it makes sense that, you know, his friends and family are probably not going to like you, regardless of his actions, you know, because his friends and family might have thought his actions are honorable because you don't know the reason why he rebelled. The reason he might have rebelled was because the indecency of the lord that he was under. So if you think about it that way, therefore he wasn't the bad guy in his situation. He was the good guy. It just in the outside world he looked like the bad guy. Therefore his friends and family would still hate you and you would still lose reputation for it. So I don't agree with this. Alright, I think we have one more. Alright, player. This still won't stop growing number of clans without fief. This will keep the settlement and join another clan as a new clan, which previous owner will be without fief. In my opinion, they should return to default culture faction and disappear. In case they rebel against original settlement culture, they should keep being rebels until someone destroys them. P.S. In case the faction of origin a settlement is already destroyed, they should revive the faction. I don't agree with this. I like the ever-growing scheme of just kind of how I would see the world going, right? New factions are born, this, and that. Currently, it feels like to me personally, and it's changing slowly over time because obviously, you know, children are turning 18 and they're having their own parties. I feel like we just see the same faces throughout time. And if you think about it, that's not how it was. You know, there's always new clans on the rise. There's always new kingdoms on the rise. And I feel like we need to get to the point where this will take time, where, you know, like I said, big kingdoms fall, new kingdoms rise. You know, I don't think I like the snowballing changes, obviously, right? So kingdoms will stay up for longer. But at the same time, kingdoms did fall, you know, and new kingdoms were born. So I think if you really want the full experience, while the snowballing problems is great, getting rid of all that is great, there needs to be ways for new kingdoms to spawn into the world. Like I've stated, if minor kingdoms get strong enough, get enough parties, you know, get enough influence, get enough renown, boom, 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 they should be able to form their own kingdom the same way you form your own kingdom. And then guess what? If they have very high reputation with a lot of clans members, they can defect to that kingdom and they can kind of have a beginning. Like you know, if a major kingdom is falling and there's disloyalty and there's distrust and every member of that clan really hates the leader, and there's a new clan that, you know, everybody loves, they can start a new kingdom. And obviously, you know what I mean? Like, those transitions of powers, I think, have to happen. I think they just have to happen, you know? I have a lot of ideas for it. I have plenty of ideas for it. You know, I've thought about it for a very long time. I thought about it since the beginning of the game, you know? If you watch my videos, I've mentioned it all the time. You know, it would be great to kind of like sit down with the developers and maybe talk about it. I currently don't have a line to talk to the developers, right? I don't even know if they would be kind of like interested in that. You know, that's up to them. I don't really. Either way the ball rolls, it's, you know, hopefully someone hears me out, either a developer or a modder, and stuff can move forward. You know, I obviously make these videos just kind of like, you know, as a way to, you know, speak my mind at the same time, kind of give people ideas, or, you know, just information because, you know, I feel like it will help in the long term. But let's see what the dev had to say. So having 1.2 to 1.3 times clans at 50 years does not create big problems. Only about 30% of rebellions end with success. Success means they join the kingdom, usually same culture one, after holding settlement for a reasonable time, 30 days. So we can keep these clans if we destroy unsuccessful ones. However, it is also okay that if we remove successful ones too. I am only against current situation. Holding all of them, that creates big inflation, 2 times in the first 50 years. Anyway, thanks for the discussion. I'm leaving now. We'll read rest tomorrow. There it is. Now, look. Like I said, it's only a problem, and I feel like while doing this change is still fine, but I think in the future it's still going to be a problem that you're going to have to face. So it just depends when you want to face it. I still think that we need to make the land count for more. We need to make settlements count for more. You know, a very good upgraded settlements with a lot of investments into it, a lot of this and this and the third into it, a lot of upgrades in the villages, a lot of, you know, upgraded workshops. Those settlements should be huge marketplaces, huge this, huge that. You know, if you really take care of a settlement how it's supposed to, and you upgrade it how it's supposed to, and you put a lot of time and work into it, it should be extremely good for you, right? And I feel like that would, and if you were able to do this with, you know, your settlements and your castle and all that, then I feel like, you know, this whole inflation wouldn't be that big of a problem. It would allow a lot more people to be in the world, because even if you own one fief, or even if you don't own one fief, if you just own a lot of, you know, profitable workshops that are fully upgraded around the world, you'll still make your fair share. And I think that's something that we need to definitely, you know, do. But that will do it for this video. I think that was the last reply, obviously. Hopefully this was informative. Hopefully you enjoyed listening. And like always, stay safe.